Happening today, Pope Francis is in Washington, D.C. You're looking at a live look at the Pope hosting a Mass at the Basilica. He canonized Juniper Serra during the Mass. He is an 18th century missionary who brought Catholics to California. Well, Pope Francis started his day with a welcome ceremony at the White House with President Obama. He was greeted by thousands of Americans on the White House lawn. He spoke in English on the importance of showing kindness to strangers and to embrace others' differences.
To use a telling phrase of the Reverend Martin Luther King, we can say that we have defaulted on a promissory note, and now is the time to honor it.
He spent much of the morning greeting people who came to see him and held a parade. Now, a lot of what Pope Francis talked about this morning revolved around political issues, including climate change and assisting more with refugees. It raises the question, is a religious figure getting too involved and possibly influencing political change? NBC 26's Raquel Amel spoke with political leaders on both sides. She's live at 5 now with what they had to say. Raquel?
Megan, political leaders say they won't dispute the Pope. In fact, they say he's entitled to state his opinion on issues, whether they're political or not.
He's being called the People's Pope, despite talking about issues that are drumming up a lot of attention.
Popes have addressed political issues for a long time, have addressed social issues for a long time, and this particular Pope is addressing issues that hit home for us.
At St. Norbert College, they're preparing for a watch party later this week to watch the Pope address the United Nations.
He's addressing issues that are being addressed by the candidates, and so it'll be interesting to see how his points of view are affecting that debate.
But college professors aren't the only ones weighing in. Local representatives also voicing opinions.
I think when the Pope speaks, a lot of people listen in this country and around the world. And I hope they're listening to the message that he's bringing.
Much of the Pope's message aligning with a lot of Democratic themes, a change from past years. But Republicans say they're not worried about the Pope influencing voters.
I mean, this will be so far in the back burner by the time that any meaningful votes are cast next year.
As people from both parties say they're happy the Pope is in the U.S. and are excited to hear his message.
St. Norbert will be holding that watch party on Friday for students, and we'll have much more on that coming up tomorrow on NBC 26 Today. Raquel Amel, NBC 26.
Well, the Pope remains in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. He will address a joint session of Congress. Then he'll go to New York City on Thursday and Friday to address the United Nations. He will end his trip in Philadelphia, where he's expected to address 1 million people in the World Meeting of Families.